We enter a place many people in Korea refuse to even speak about. A building abandoned for decades, yet never truly empty. A place where footsteps follow you, even when you're alone. Where doors slam shut without warning. Where cameras glitch, batteries die, and shadows move on their own. This is Gonjiam Psychiatric Hospital, Korea's most haunted asylum, and one of the most terrifying abandoned structures in all of Asia. Thousands of urban explorers have come here seeking proof of the paranormal. Some found it, some fled in terror, and a few never came back at all. Tonight, we uncover the dark history, the hidden rooms, the sealed doors, the forbidden floors, and the spirits still trapped inside. Welcome to the horrors of Gonjiam Asylum. The legend begins. Hidden deep in the forests of Gwangju sits a 3-story concrete building with shattered windows, rusted beds, and hallways stained with time. From the outside, it looks dead, but locals say the energy around it is the opposite. Alive, alert, watching. The story of Gonjiam began in the late 1960s when a private psychiatric institution was constructed far from civilization. Its location was no accident. Back then, mental health facilities were often placed deep in rural areas, out of sight, out of mind. Over the next few decades, rumors spread of unethical experiments, patients who disappeared without record, and a director whose cruelty was whispered about among nearby towns. As the legend grew, so did the fear. People reported screams coming from the building late at night, lights flickering even though the power was long gone, and an unexplained smell of chemicals drifting through the forest. Then, suddenly, in the 1990s, Gonjiam shut down without warning. Patients were evacuated, the staff vanished, everything was left behind. Folders, beds, medical tools, even personal belongings. It was as if time stopped. And the building simply froze. The official explanation: financial issues. But the locals tell a different story. They say the patients were dying one by one, and nobody could explain how. Entering the hospital grounds, approaching Gonjiam is unsettling even before you step inside. The path is narrow, overgrown, and almost silent except for nearby insects. The trees block out most of the sky, creating a natural tunnel. Many explorers report that the deeper they walk into the woods, the heavier their chest feels, like something is warning them to turn around. Near the entrance, you'll see the rusted gate hanging open. People say no matter how you close it, it always swings back to the same half-open angle, as if beckoning you in. The air shifts, your temperature drops, and the sound of the forest becomes muffled, like cotton in your ears. This is where many explorers say they first hear it. Soft footsteps behind them, slow, rhythmic, matching their own pace. But when they turn around, no one is there. The entrance hallway is covered in spray paint, but look closer, and you'll see the older markings underneath, old staff instructions. room numbers, patient tracking notes. The deeper you walk, the colder the air becomes. Many describe the temperature dropping between 5 to 10 degrees as soon as they step into the main corridor. And almost every explorer reports the same thing. Their flashlight suddenly flickers. Not because of the battery, but because the darkness inside the building is unnaturally thick. It's almost alive. The first floor of Gonjiam is the most accessible, but also the most deceptive. At first glance, it looks like typical abandoned ruins, broken tiles, empty exam rooms, damaged sinks. But listen closely. There's a constant, faint dripping sound. Even during dry season, it echoes through the hallways, though no one can find where it comes from. Many visitors describe smelling something metallic, like old blood. The scent grows stronger near the nurse's station, where you'll find stacks of patient files scattered across the floor. But something is strange. Most files end abruptly. Patients were checked in, but almost none were officially discharged. Some names simply stop appearing. No final notes, no dates, no signatures, just empty pages. Explorers report that their chest feels tight in this area, like someone is standing very close behind them. Some swear they hear soft humming, like a nurse quietly singing to herself. But when you move through this floor, there's one room nearly everyone avoids. The treatment room at the far corner. Why? Because even with full sunlight outside, this room is pitch black inside. Flashlights don't reflect normally. The walls almost absorb the light. People describe hearing whispers in this darkness, but never clearly enough to understand. Only one word repeats: stay. Then, climbing to the second floor. To reach the second floor, you take a narrow staircase with a metal railing so rusted it flakes off when touched. The deeper you climb, the heavier the air feels, like pushing against something invisible. Halfway up, people report a strange effect. The light behind them suddenly dims, even if they brought strong LED flashlights. Urban explorers have described it as like something is swallowing the light at the top of the stairs. The atmosphere shifts. The first floor feels abandoned, but the second floor feels occupied. Many describe hearing murmurs echoing through the hall, as if conversations from the past are still trapped in the walls. Memory imprinted into stone. The temperature drops sharply here. One explorer recorded a sudden drop from 12 degrees Celsius to 3 degrees Celsius as soon as he stepped onto the second floor. He thought his equipment malfunctioned until he saw his breath. But the most unsettling thing about this level is how the layout feels wrong. Doors are unevenly spaced, windows are boarded inconsistently, and the hallway seems longer than it should be, almost like it stretches. You'll find patient rooms lined on both sides, beds overturned, windows shattered, walls scratched with marks that don't look like graffiti. They look like nail marks, wild, frantic, as if someone tried to claw their way out. Some go deeper and hear something impossible. The sound of someone breathing inside one of the rooms, slow, deep, wet. But when you open the door, the room is empty, only dust and silence. Let's go to the director's office. At the end of the second-floor hallway sits one of the most infamous parts of Gonjiam, the director's office. Even before the hospital closed, rumors surrounded this room. People said the director performed unethical treatments, falsified patient records, and covered up mysterious deaths. The office is large, with peeling wallpaper and shattered cabinet glass. Files still lie scattered on the floor. But there's one object nearly everyone notices immediately. A leather chair, still upright, still facing the desk, still positioned exactly as if someone had just stood up. Explorers say the chair sometimes rotates slightly, as if responding to movement in the room. One group captured something on sound, a soft, rhythmic tapping, like fingertips drumming on the desk. Others report a faint smell of old perfume, despite the room being untouched for decades. But the most disturbing discovery in the director's office is a set of documents found in a half-burned folder. The papers list dozens of patient names, with the same note repeated in red ink. Transferred, do not enter in public record. No dates, no destinations, no follow-up. Just the word transferred. Locals believe these patients were never transferred at all. They believe something happened inside this building, something the director tried to erase. Near the back of the office is a smaller room, the personal quarters, a bed frame, a closet door left slightly open. Inside the closet, explorers found claw marks on the wood from the inside. Then, there is the sealed rooms. Gonjiam's hallways are filled with broken rooms, but 3 rooms stand out because they are sealed shut from the outside. Nails hammered in, doors reinforced, wooden planks bolted across them. Why would an abandoned hospital have rooms sealed after closure? Local stories offer a chilling answer. These rooms once held the uncontrollable patients, not physically violent, but spiritually dangerous. People who saw things, heard things, predicted things. Patients who claimed the hospital was alive, that the walls spoke, that something moved through the ventilation system watching them. Rooms 219, 222 are the most infamous. Visitors report hearing movement from inside these sealed rooms, scratching, soft crying, even whispering that grows louder the longer you stand outside the door. A popular Korean urban explorer recounted this moment. He placed his ear against the wood and heard a voice whisper, "Are you here to release me?" He ran. He never returned. Another explorer claimed to hear breathing inside room 221. He leaned closer and something knocked back. 3 slow knocks, perfectly spaced. There should be no sound, no animals, nothing living inside. So what was knocking? One group once attempted to pry open room 219, but the moment they forced a gap wide enough to see inside, their camera malfunctioned, the hallway lights flickered, and a strong, rotten smell poured out of the crack. They sealed the door again immediately. When they reviewed the footage later, every frame near that moment was corrupted, just static, and a single whisper caught on audio, "Do not open it." the stairs to the third floor. If the second floor feels occupied, the third floor feels forsaken. This is the floor most urban explorers avoid, because it houses something infamous, something whispered about online for years. Room 402. The stairs leading up are narrow, covered in debris, and strangely colder than anywhere else in the building. People report a sense of dizziness climbing this staircase, as if the air itself is heavier. Once you reach the third floor landing, the entire building changes. This floor is a maze of long hallways, broken ceiling panels, and splintered doors hanging from rusted hinges. Walk slowly, and you can hear your footsteps echo. But sometimes the echoes don't match your pace. Sometimes they continue a moment longer. Only one destination matters up here. Room 402. The most haunted place in Korea. Room 402. Room 402 is considered the epicenter of all paranormal activity in Gonjiam. Some say a patient died here horrifically. Others say the room was used for isolation or even secret medical procedures. When you approach the door, the first thing you notice is that it never fully stays open. No matter how explorers wedge it, lean it, or block it, the door slowly swings back toward the frame. Not violently, slowly, deliberately, as if pushed by an unseen hand. Visitors report hearing sounds coming from inside before entering. Scratching, hot breathing, soft humming, and sometimes in faint knocking. Many refuse to go in, but for those who do, every account is the same. The room is colder, darker, heavier. Even the air feels thicker, like wading through something invisible. One Korean paranormal team described it. It felt like someone was standing in the corner, staring at us. Another group recorded a temperature of -2 degrees Celsius inside 402, despite it being 18 degrees Celsius outside. And nearly every explorer experiences camera malfunctions here. Batteries drain instantly, screens turn white, audio glitches, or equipment refuses to power on. Quit. But the most terrifying encounters involve the door. One explorer online as MS shared this story. He entered room 402 with 2 friends. They all felt an immediate pressure in their chests. Suddenly, the door slammed shut so hard it shook the floor. They ran to open it, but the knob wouldn't turn. They pushed, kicked, slammed their shoulders into it. Nothing. Finally, after 3 minutes of panic, the door unlocked by itself and slowly creaked open. When they escaped the room, their audio recorder caught something chilling. A woman whispering, "Don't leave me alone again." Others claim to have seen something in the darkness, a figure crouched in the corner, only visible in the corner of your eye. Move your head and it's gone. But walk out and you'll feel someone follow you to the hall. The hallway outside room 402 is just as terrifying as the room itself. Many explorers say they never made it inside because something was already waiting in the hall. The most frequent report, a tall shadow figure. Eyewitnesses describe it as blacker than darkness, humanoid, thin, and standing completely still at the far end of the hallway. It doesn't move, it doesn't sway, it doesn't step, but when you blink, it appears closer. One Korean exploration group captured footage of a long shadow stretching past their feet, but when they turned their camera around, no one was behind them. Another explorer said the shadow wasn't tall, it was crawling toward him, slowly, silently, dragging itself across the floor. He ran without looking back. Battery failures are constant in this hall. Cold spots feel like icy hands, and people often report a strange sensation, something touching their hair. One woman said she felt fingers brushing her neck, even though no one stood near her. Another experienced the sensation of being held in place, her legs suddenly numb, unable to move for nearly 10 seconds. A pause, then release. The hall leaves most people shaken. And yet, room 402 remains the darkest point, the center of it all. The heart of Gonjiam. The final known hotspot, the one investigators fear the most, is the abandoned elevator shaft. A vertical pit cutting straight through the building, steeped in pure darkness. Several explorers claim that when they point their camera inside, they hear breathing, not around them, below them, deep, slow, exhausted breathing. As if something is waiting at the bottom, resting, recovering, preparing. One well-known paranormal team dropped a microphone into the shaft. The audio picked up a single word, stay. When they reviewed the waveform, the voice wasn't human. The pitch was too low, too layered, like multiple tones speaking at once. Moments later, their camera shut off on its own. When they turned it back on, a new clip had appeared, recorded only seconds before. It showed a figure standing behind them in full darkness, but none of the team members had been there. Almost every explorer who reaches this point makes the same decision. Leave immediately, not because they're tired or scared of getting caught, but because they feel an urgent instinct, as if something is about to happen if they stay even 1 minute longer. Cameras malfunction. Flashlights flicker violently. Shadows no longer hide. They move openly across the walls. Some hear rapid footsteps chasing them down the stairwell. Others hear the elevator shaft breathing louder. One group reported all the hallway doors slamming at once as they ran for the exit. No matter the experience, everyone who stays until the final hour shares a chilling moment. The feeling that something is following them as they leave the building. Not close, not visible, just far enough behind to let you know you're not alone. Even after you step outside, the sensation remains like a presence standing at the entrance, watching, waiting for your last look back. Most explorers say the same thing. The worst part is not what happens inside. The worst part is what feels like follows you out. Gonjiam Psychiatric Hospital may be closed, sealed, and silent, but silence is not the same as peace. Buildings remember, pain lingers, suffering leaves echoes, and some places, like this one, absorb everything and give nothing back. Whether you believe in hauntings or not, one thing is undeniable. People go into Gonjiam and feel something watching them. People leave Gonjiam and feel something follow. And long after you walk away, long after you turn off this video, you may still wonder what happens to the spirits trapped in a place where no one ever left freely. And more importantly, if the building is abandoned, why does it still feel alive? This has been Gonjiam, Korea's most haunted hospital. Thank you for watching, and good night.